For a car company known for making a certain kind of vehicle, the launch of the BRZ came as a bit of a surprise for Subaru fans. This was a car that didn't have many of the things that the marque was known for. No big scoops, no big wing, and more importantly, no all-wheel drive, no turbocharger. Led the question for many to ask, is it any good? Well, after a year of living with one, I can tell you, nah, it's better than that. When this car was first launched, there were those that said if only it had 280 horsepower, if only they fitted it with a turbocharger. Well, guess what, guys? You've completely missed the point. The whole point of this car is if you add a turbocharger, if you add an intercooler, a wastegate, you're adding heat, you're adding weight. You're also going to add cost as well. That car is going to be a lot more than the 22.5 grand this car costs to get into. The other thing as well, this normally aspirated engine, you can hear it, it's an absolute peach. You hold on to it to 7,500 revs. The red line is much higher than turbocharged Subarus, so you just wring its neck a bit. It's a lot of fun. The other thing about this not being a turbocharged car is that this car has incredible fuel economy. I can get 45 on a run out of this. If I rag it to death, I can't seem to get less than 36. Even on track, I can get in the 20s. That's unheard of. So it's a really practical car that you can run on a really minuscule fuel budget. What about the switch to rear-wheel drive? That was a shock to Subaru fans. Known for symmetrical all-wheel drive, why on earth did they go rear-wheel drive front engine? Well, for starters, it's a classic sports car layout, isn't it? And this car's got 50-50 weight distribution, pretty much. You've also got one of the lowest centre of gravities in any driver's car, and we're including supercars in that statement. This car goes exactly where you put it. What's really nice as well, the standard energy tyres let the car move around a little bit, so even at 20-25 mile an hour, if you want to, you can slide the back end out on a roundabout if you turn all the traction control off. It's a giggle. It's a real hoot, this car. You can tell it's been designed for drivers, by drivers. They've got just enough grip, everything you need, nothing you don't. Pretty much the ethos of the car, really. Well, there's everything you might expect from a sports coupe dynamically, but there's a few things you might not expect practically. So you've got a really big interior. It's a 2+2. You can actually fit people in the back seats, but the real surprise is the boot. The boot is actually quite large. It's lovely in here, very minimalist, you've got to say, very much focused on the driver. So the steering wheel's a case in point. There are no buttons that you don't need on the steering wheel. There's no audio control, no telephone control. The steering wheel has a clue in the name. It's for steering, and in a car like this, you're going to do a lot of that. There's a cruise control as a concession for practicality and comfort, and that's it. You've got climate, you've got heated seats, you've got decent audio, and you've got that chassis, and that is all you really need. Now, I tell you the thing that really winds me up when people say, oh, you're driving one of those cars that's also a Toyota. Well, Toyota did have a hand in it. Let's give them their due. They created a fantastic direct injection system. They did some superb work on the body optimization. But let's be frank here, guys. This is a Subaru. Got a flat 4 engine. The back half of the suspension's all STI and Impreza. The front half's also bits from the same family. So this is a Subaru. All the motive parts, the gearbox, the engine, the drivetrain, the suspension, the chassis, the feel. This is a Subaru. Just 2-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive, and all the better for it. Just listen to that sound. It is absolutely fantastic. You can hold it, really hold it in each gear, and that's the whole point of this car. It's pretty fair to say then that this has got to be one of the greatest all-round road cars. It's quick, the handling is fantastic, you can get 2 and 2.5 people in it, it's got a decent boot, and it doesn't use any fuel. So it ticks every single box. But what's it like on the track? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? If the BRZ makes a lot of sense out on the road, it makes even more sense out on the track. It is just absolutely beautiful. Because it's so easy to drive quickly and on the limit, and the front goes exactly where you put it, and the back can be pretty obedient if you want it to be, or if you turn off the traction control, you can have all sorts of fun. I'm going to keep it neat and tidy today because we're on a track day, we don't want to upset anybody. But Donington is the perfect track for the BRZ. It flows, it's smooth, it sweeps. There's some hard braking areas, and the standard brakes for 2 pots are surprisingly good. But look, the car turns in and there's just no drama, there's nothing. Look at this, look, straight into a corner, so flat, so smooth, so composed. It's just absolutely beautiful. And you can live with some quite expensive stuff. And we're talking about the lack of power. I'm following a tuned Golf GTI at the moment. That's got 300 horsepower. You can't shake me. It's not what you've got, it's how you can put it down. That noise, listen to that noise. And listen, you can go all the way to 7,500 RPM as well. So coming into the chicane, hard on the brakes. Car's really stable under braking as well. So much feel through the steering, taking a little bit of curb. Far out wide. What a machine, what a machine. This is it, hard on the brakes, on the nose, stand it in, turn. See what I mean about the lack of drama though? And that's the nice thing about the BRZ. If you want to be leery, if you want to show off, you can do that. If you just want to make quick progress around the track, you can do that too. How do you sum up the BRZ then? Well, in sports car terms, it's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, isn't it really? It can do an awful lot of things in one very nicely shaped package. Sports cars you normally buy with your heart. They don't tend to be a practical purchase. But you know what, with the BRZ, this is a car you can buy with your heart and your head. It really is that good. Nobody ever bought a sports car to be practical, did they? But having lived with this one for a year, turns out the BRZ is just that. There's a lot of great reasons to buy this car. You buy it for how it looks, buy it for how it drives, but the best thing about this is a car you can buy with your heart and your head. And I reckon it's time for another lap.